Welcome back to the Hari Zone, my dear warriors. Have you ever wondered what you would do if one day the unthinkable happened and a nuclear explosion tore through the sky? While it might seem like something out of a movie, the harsh truth is that nuclear accidents and weapons are still a reality in our world. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through every single step you should take before, during, and after a nuclear blast to give yourself and your loved ones the best possible chance of survival. So make sure you stick around until the very end. First, let's understand the threat itself. When we think of a nuclear explosion, we picture the giant mushroom cloud, the instant destruction, the end of the world. But in reality, there are survivors. People lived through Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Some survived Chernobyl, though they suffered immensely. And if we understand the science and prepare ourselves mentally, we too can increase our chances. So what actually happens? Within seconds of detonation, there's a blinding flash of light, intense heat, and a shockwave powerful enough to flatten buildings. After that, radiation spreads, and fallout radioactive dust settles on everything it touches. Unlike fire or bullets, radiation is invisible. You can't see it, you can't smell it, but it can poison your body from the inside out. That's why understanding the timeline of survival is so critical. Let's dive into the first few minutes after a blast, because these are the most crucial. If you see a sudden flash of light brighter than the sun, drop to the ground immediately. Don't stand and stare. The heat and blast wave follow within seconds. By dropping flat on the ground and covering your head, you give yourself a chance to survive that first deadly moment. Once the shockwave passes, you must find shelter right away. The single most important factor in surviving nuclear fallout is a combination of time, distance, and shielding. The farther you are from the blast, the lower your radiation dose. The thicker the barrier between you and the fallout-like concrete walls. An underground basement or even the center of a large building, the safer you will be. Now I want to make this personal. I have lived through radiation myself. Not from a bomb, but from cancer treatment. I received radiotherapy to my head and neck, and the burning sensations I experienced were some of the hardest days of my life. My mouth and throat felt like they were on fire. I had ulcers that made even drinking water feel like swallowing razor blades. Talking, eating, even breathing became a challenge. And this was from carefully measured radiation given in small doses by skilled doctors over weeks. Imagine instead a sudden uncontrolled blast of radiation from a nuclear explosion. The tissues in your mouth, throat, and lungs can burn and ulcerate within hours. It's like the worst day of radiotherapy happening all at once with no chance for recovery. The survivors of Chernobyl described this very pain. Their throats burned, their mouths filled with ulcers, and swallowing became impossible. I can tell you from my own life, even a small taste of that pain is unbearable. For me, healing took weeks, even months, with medical care. In a nuclear fallout situation, with no treatment available, the suffering would be multiplied. And if you, like me, have already had radiotherapy, your tissues are weaker, drier, and slower to heal. That means in a nuclear emergency, your risk is even greater. This is why immediate action is so vital. If you're exposed, rinse your mouth and skin with clean water. Avoid touching your face, and get medical help as soon as you can. I share this story because I want you to feel the reality of what radiation does. It's not abstract. It burns, it scars, and it lingers. I've lived through it. But by acting fast, you can reduce the dose your body absorbs and significantly increase your chances of survival. Once you survive those terrifying first few minutes, what about the first hour? The first hour after a nuclear blast is often called the golden hour. This is when fallout dust is at its most dangerous. If you can stay indoors, behind thick walls, and away from windows, your chances of survival go way up. Seal any cracks with wet towels, stay in a basement if you have one, and avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Food and water that have been exposed to fallout should not be consumed. Stick to sealed containers, bottled water, and canned goods. In Hiroshima, survivors who went indoors quickly lived longer than those who wandered the streets searching for family. As harsh as it sounds, your first duty is to survive that first hour. Once radiation levels start to drop, you can begin to help others. Now let's talk about the first full day, because this is when your survival decisions become even more important. After the initial explosion, many people make the mistake of running outside too soon. Fallout dust, which looks like ash settling from the sky, is deadly. You must stay sheltered for at least 24 hours, and even longer if you can. Radiation levels decrease rapidly with time, but that first day is absolutely critical. This is also when the psychological struggle begins. Fear, panic, and the sheer unknown will test your strength. But remember, humans have survived the worst disasters in history. The survivors of Chernobyl, of Hiroshima, of Nagasaki, they lived to tell their stories. Some bore scars for life, but they carried the lesson forward. This is where preparation makes all the difference. Keep a basic survival kit at home with water, canned food, a flashlight, and a battery-powered radio. Even simple items like plastic sheets and duct tape can help you seal a room and protect yourself from fallout dust. And for those who, like me, understand the internal pain of radiation burns, remember this: every barrier you put between yourself and the fallout is a gift to your body. Every hour you wait indoors gives your cells a better chance to fight back. Finally, let's zoom out to the bigger picture, the long-term reality of surviving a nuclear disaster. Radiation doesn't just harm you in the moment. It lingers. Survivors often face long-term health issues like cancer, organ damage, and deep psychological trauma. I can speak to the long healing process. Even years after my treatment, my mouth and throat still remind me of the damage radiation can leave behind. That's why surviving a nuclear explosion isn't just about the first hour or the first day. It's about the weeks, months, and years that follow. Support systems, medical care, and mental strength become just as important as the shelter you found in the beginning. But here's the hope: survival is possible. Knowledge is power. You don't have to feel helpless. By learning these steps now, you're preparing yourself and your loved ones for a threat that, while rare, is still very real in our world. I truly hope you never have to face this kind of situation, but if you do, my wish is that these steps help you stay safe and strong. Please share this video with your friends and family so they know exactly what to do if the unthinkable ever happens. And if you found these survival tips valuable and want to support me in creating more life-saving guides, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell icon so you never miss the next upload. As long as you're watching, I'll be right here creating more for you. Thanks for watching, my brave warriors. Stay safe, and I'll see you again very soon.